Hi all, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Let's start rebooting work using Uipath. In today's session, we are going to discuss about REFramework. So, as we are gonna like high level intro about how REFramework works, what are the stages are there in REFramework. So let's make a deep dive on the initialization state, how it works, what are the things need to be done. So before going to on that, so let me take a live example which help us to make a deep dive on REFramework. So we are going to accomplish this particular task using REFramework. Okay, so first of all, this is a problem statement which are going to perform in our upcoming video session. So which is we need to open a ACME site and then we have to enter our username password. So we have to access the ACME dashboard, and then we have to move to the work items. So we have to extract those data. So using the for each, we have to iterate to the each WIDs, and then so we have to fetch the client information details. So with that, so we are going to go to the SHA1 online website. I guess we are going to populate some information over there, which is client ID, name, client country. So from that we will getting a hash key value. So we are just come back to the ACME site, work item. So we are going to update this thing. So this is the entire like a problem statement which are going to perform. So let me break into two things first of all. So which is kind of a dispatcher and performer. So now we'll be having a question. So what mean by dispatch and what mean by performer? So basically dispatch is the process that prepares the initial data and push to the orchestrator queue. Okay, so it will fetch the data and it will push the data into the queue, which is called as dispatcher, and it takes the value from the queue and start process. So which is called as a performer. Okay, so likewise, so it can be classified into two types, dispatcher and performer. So let me break it our problem statement into two, which is dispatcher and performer will help you to accomplish this task easily. So let me take till this particular statement as a dispatcher and the below statement as a performer. Okay, so you'll be wondering like how I was splitting this, right? So let me tell you. So till this part, so you'll be opening, and then like you'll be enter password. So you'll be extracting the data, right? And then you have to store it somewhere, correct? From that we have to take value. So as I said before, RE frameworks will use the get transaction item which help to get the data from the queue, correct? So if you are going to push some values into the queue, so using RE framework we can get those value and get it processed. Okay, so first of all there is a two kind of approach to make to attain this solution. So we can create a separate dispatcher for till 1.5a and then 1.5b you can use a RE framework which help to attain the performer action. So basically like you can go with the dispatcher as a normal sequence. You can normal sequence which you are covering in all the sessions what actually we are doing in sequence, right? So we can cover that in a dispatcher, and then performer can be used with the help of RE framework. So or else like hey you can be asking questions like so can we do dispatcher and performer both the things in RE framework? Yeah, we can do that. So but the main thing is we will be facing some issues. So let me plug in my charge 1 second. Okay, so yeah, so as I discussed, so it can be done in a single RE framework itself, so dispatcher and performer. But the thing is, so to make a performance better, so like to make your automation scalable. So as I say, scalable. So if you are preparing a dispatcher, okay, so dispatcher will push the data into the queue, and you can make so many bots to pick the value from the queue and start processing. So if you are making a dispatcher and performer in a single RE framework, so it will make a dependency. It will create a dependency that the item will be added one by one. Okay, the item will be added one by one. From that, the only one bot can perform that particular data, right? So if one value is added into the queue, so only one bot can take that and it can work. So if you are preparing a separate sequence for a dispatcher, let's assume so it will push 10 values into the queue. We can make a 10 different RE framework, 10 different bots to pick those value one by one. So in the time, so you can do that like so if you are pushing 10 items, so one item is processed in your 5 minutes, then you will need a 50 minutes, right? So if you are using 10 bots, you can get all the 10 transaction data in a just in a 5 minutes. Okay, so if you are using 10 different bots, so that is the main benefit thing. So when you're using a dispatcher in a separate module and a performer in a separate module, so yeah, answering to your question, so it can be done in a two ways. So the best practice will be you have to prepare dispatcher separately and the performer separately with the help of RE framework. So yeah, so this is the problem statement. We can start deploying all those. So before that, so we can just go to the initialization state and we can explore what actually it has. Okay, so these are like panels. So what actually RE framework has, it you can add a test data and then like the screenshot, so which you are going to highlight, right? So those things will be captured here, and the data, so which is a config file, input file you can place here, output file. So config file which has your settings, and then sorry and then so you can see a documentation, so which help you to how to perform the RE frameworks. Okay, like how to work with the RE framework, so which is a naming convention, what are the variable standards you have to perform. So you may be recalling now, so what I was said initially, so if you're using an integer you have to use int and then number, right? So likewise the naming convention, so how it should be, and then exception screenshot, so it will have separate things, and the framework, so which consists the main thing, so which has like close all application, get transaction in it all. So these are the basic XAMLs which is added over the RE framework, which help you to create the RE frameworks. So and you can keep the test data here. This is a test case, so we can perform the testing as well as automation, and then the main XAMLs, right? So perfect. So we can just make a deep dive on initialization. Just click on double click. Okay, so as I said before, RE framework, so each and every state machines are covered by the try catch to handle the exception actually. So here you can see something called as load config open application. So this in system exception, initially the system exception is nothing, right? There'll be no exception when the particular bot started triggering, so it does not have an exception. So config file is nothing. What actually it mean? So initially when the bot going to start at the first runtime, so the config file will be nothing, correct? So because like then only after first run only, the bot is going to read the particular config file which you have placed all your settings. So you have kept over here what is in init all settings. Let me click on open workflow file. It did get loaded. Yep, it loaded. So they have created a particular out variable which consists of, which is made up of a dictionary, string and object. Okay, what actually they are doing here? They are just reading this particular config xlx file. Okay, so you can see something called as in config sheet. In argument, you can find that in config sheet. So which is settings and constant is nothing but the sheet names of a config file. So you can see a three sheet names. So assets are maintained separately. Let it get loaded. Wait for a second. You can see something called a setting, constant, and assets. Correct. So settings will have your like app URL, so like application and like path. So those things. So you can keep in the settings, and constant. So which the things will not does not change. You can keep it those here, and the assets, which is credential, user ID. Yeah, those confidential things you can keep here, and you can get from the asset of orchestrator asset. So this particular example will give a combo idea, so how to use hazards, queues, and then dispatcher performer model. So once you're done with this particular model, it will give a consolidated view, so how to handle with RE frameworks and give a touch on the all activities level. So as you see, the argument they have directly passed the settings and constant. So they have passed this and then started reading. So yep. So and then so they have again they are iterating this particular data type. Okay, you can see this particular data type in a for each, and they're assigning. So these are things you don't need to worry about, and you don't need to configure. So UiPath as automatically they have provided this init config which help you to read your config file. Okay, so you're not going to do any coding part in the init all setting. Just it used to just read the config file where you're going to place your data, and then so the kill all application will help you to clean up your environment. So which is nothing but, so if you're going to use a Chrome application, okay, Chrome application, so let's assume so already some Chrome page has already opened. Okay, so when you trigger the bot, so it may be distract your automation also, right? So before running your script, your environment should be clean. There should not be any other application need to be opened which are going to be used in your automation process. So this kill property will help you to make your environment clear. So and then you don't need to worry about this stuff. And then so in init all applications will help you to initialize all the applications which are going to be used in your workflow. So just click on here, it says opening application, right? So you can initialize all the application which need to be opened in your automation process. So let's start configuring our config file, and then as of today's session, so we can just try to kill all the process from the config file. Okay, so let's go to the main. So this is the overall framework. Okay, so what I can do is just go to the settings. So what you can do here, just make the application which are going to be used. What is the application actually? uh, so the Chrome application and the Excel, right? So you're going to use the Excel. So Chrome, which you need to access the ACME site, and Excel. Why I was saying Excel, we're going to extract all the WADs. So we can go here and make a touch over there. Let me log in. So what actually we are going to do? So we are just going to WAD, and then we are going to start extraction. So WAD, so which is work items. So here you can see something called as WAD. What are you going to do? So you're going to extract whole the data on the total 10 pages, and you're going to keep it as an Excel. So and then so in Excel, so you're going to keep those data, as well as you are going to make a data push into the queue. Okay, since this is the task we are going to perform. Okay, before jump into the RE framework, what I can do, we can just make our dispatcher first, and then we can start doing this. Okay, so let it keep it aside. Okay, don't do anything as of now in REFramework. Okay, so what you can do, what I will suggest, just open one more process of Uipath, which help you to create your dispatcher model. So let us go one by one. Should not be hurry on this. Let's start from the scratch so that you can get a like a full knowledge like how to work dispatcher, and how why the performer is helpful in the RE framework concept. So those things we can understand. Let me tell you once again, so why actually this will not be a good idea to keep dispatcher and performer, because let's assume in init state you are going to add some values, okay, into the queue. Okay, so what actually will happen, so sorry, in your get transaction you're going to keep some data and you're going to push something, okay. So what actually will happen, so it will push the data, okay, one by one. So it will go in a sequence, right? So if you are placing an add queue item in initialization state, what will happen? So if some unexceptional error happens, okay, it will hit on the initialization application, and once again it will start adding item into the queue. So that will ruin up into another problem. So always it's better to create a separate dispatcher model. Also, you can do one more thing. You can add a separate state machine. Okay, there is many ways to add, but so to avoid the performance issue, so we can make a separate sequence which help us to build our dispatcher and let it keep the performer as a fresh RE framework. Let's go here. Let me create our dispatcher. Okay, let's start create this thing. Okay, perfect. So our dispatcher XAML got loaded. Let me click here. Let me do a real quick so you can just do simultaneously along with me. Okay, open a sequence. Okay, I had write a sequence, so let's name it as mm, sorry. And what you are going to do, you are going to the ACME side and you are going to log in and do these things, right? So let me make very generic. Okay, so open browser. Okay, so open browser. can use the URL. Okay. So as of now, I'm just going to pass the direct path over here. Okay, since it is a small dispatches sequential model. Okay, when I was using RE framework, so I'll just uh, going to use my config file. So as I promised. Okay, let me pass the value here. Okay, don't worry. As of now, I'm just doing this thing so pretty much quick. Okay, so URL and then just type into. So or else you can just use get credential also. Let me use my get credential itself. Okay, so that you'll get a good idea. Practice get credential. So what are the asset name which you already kept? Let's go to the orchestrator. Okay, let me check somewhere whether we have already kept some asset for this ACME. Okay, I have something called as ACA grid. I hope this will be a valid one. I'm not sure, but okay, I hope this will works. Okay, what I can do, just go here. Okay, some issues maybe are there. Okay, just me provide the path. Okay, go to the ACME side. Just make it this thing. Highlight. So this is same, right? So which I have done in a web automation, which is pretty much same. Okay, what actually I was doing is just pretty much same, which are doing in web automation. Let me make a click activity. Okay, sorry, I have just made this wrong. This is not type, right? This is type into secure. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. We can highlight this one and then just make a click activity. Just click over here. Okay, just click on login. Click on save. So once it will be logged in, right? So let me correct the selector once quickly. Let me create a variable for this one. Control K, password. Perfect. And then let me create a username. Okay, super. Let me provide this username over there. And then password. Perfect. So we have provided everything right now till now. So what actually will happen? So it will click on login. So before that, you have to make sure that you are selecting a appropriate browser which you need. So browser type, I'll just go and select the Chrome. Since I was just selecting my optimizing my selector in a Chrome, so also just don't forget to mark this uh, empty field on the type into activity so that it will clear the cache data. Just say there, go here. You have to click on work items, right? Perfect. So what I will do, click on work item, click on work item, re-indicate. I hope I didn't indicate it properly. Okay, perfect. So after that, what I will doing, I just going to extract the whole data which is in table format. Just go here. Next, will be asking, do you want to extract data table? Yes. And then click on finish. So it will be asking, do we have any other next pages spanning? So maybe some glitch over there. Okay, yeah, I got it. So click on yes. Since you have spanning data, just click on this arrow mark so that it can be occupy all the data. Just click on save. So perfect, right? So till now, so you have stored all the data. So if you are recollect, so the queue concept which you are done, so you can use a bulk queue or you can use add queue. So each and every items you can go ahead and use sync. So as of now, so we can start using our bulk queue. Okay. So you can just try in the add queue way. Okay, don't forget. So if bulk queue. So as we know that bulk queue will require data table. So we have to change the scope of this particular one. Just try to just change the scope, calculate, extract the data table, queue name. So what are the queue names? So you didn't set any queue name, right? So what I can do, just go here, go to the orchestrator, just create a new asset for this one, add queue, create a new queue. So we let me create ACME queue. Okay. Say this, add this one. Let's go here, provide the queue name. Perfect, right? We are doing just we got so much practice on this now. Okay, right? Yeah. Now all the items will be extracted and it will be added to the queue. Let me save this and let me run this. Let me save this. Oh, sorry, I just came to the wrong one. Just come back here, save this and debug this one. Okay, so it will start running now, right? Let's wait for a time. Started running now. Let me wait for a second. It will enter the username, password, and it will add the values into the queue now. So enter the username, password, logged in. Okay, perfect till now. So it clicked on the work items. It will start extracting the data and it will be adding the item into the queue. So it started extracting. So you can see that page is getting changed one by one. Alright, so the items are getting changed one by one. So finally those values will be added into the queue now. So let's wait for the bot to get read all those data and then start adding other. Let's wait for a second. It's adding very quickly. So I guess it keep on clicking on the next button until it will able to see that particular next button over there. It's adding. Started adding. Yep, I guess yeah. This is the last page. Okay. Yep. So it has read till the last page. I guess it might be adding now into the orchestrator queue. Let's wait for some times to get our automation done. So once it has added, so let me go to the orchestrator and you can check once. Let me wait for a second to get our bot get done. So you can something called here running, right? So our bot is still running. Okay, perfect. It got run. Let's go there. Let's click on refresh. This is our queue, right? Let's go here. Click on new transaction. Let's wait get loaded. Yep. So it added all the transaction, right? 91 transaction. So the last transaction in this single page, which is 91. So you can see something, those 91 transaction has been added now, right? So which means the part of your dispatcher, the part of your dispatcher starter and read the data, add the item into the queue. So till now dispatcher is done. So performer, so you have to get the item from the queue and process one by one till the end. So in next session, so we can check how the RE frameworks we can do the performer in a step-by-step scenario. Hope I guess you like the videos. Thank you very much. Have a good day.